look at implementing CSS, we're going to use an IDE for this called Webstorm. So Webstorm is a commercial product. It's very powerful and very nice to use. It's created by JetBrains. So JetBrains has a whole host of IDEs for various kinds of development, Java, for example, but this one's particularly suited for web development. And there is a student evaluation, so you can go ahead and get a license as a student. So just go to jetbrains.com and sign up for a license, and then you can go ahead and download Webstorm. So I'm going to create a new project. Let's say call it test CSS. And so this is just empty right now. I'm going to go ahead and create a HTML file. So this HTML file, we'll call it test.html. And notice it fills it out to begin with, and actually we have a kind of a nice UI, and that in that it has title selected automatically. So I can just put the title of, just type the title. And let's put in our body a couple things. Let's put in a header, and notice it fills in the closing tag. And we'll just put in an unordered list with some list items. And it's doing the tabbing for me automatically too. List item 1, and then triple click and paste, list item 2 and list item 3. All right. Make that a little smaller. And I am going to update the size a little bit. All right, so one thing I can do is preview this. As I'm hovering over my HTML code here, I can see here, I can do a built-in preview, I can preview in Chrome, other websites. I'm going to just do the built-in preview so we can see now that preview. And the nice thing about this preview is whenever I save, it'll update. So I did a save, and now it updates. I undo, save, it goes back. Let's now look at styles. So one place you can put styles is in your head directly. So you can put a style. We'll talk about the syntax for a style in just a moment, but let's look at, for instance, here's a potential one, body, and we'll do the background is red. So I save that, and now we in fact get a red background. Okay. So that's one possibility, but it's not usual that you would want to have your style in your page itself. And the reason for that is the separation of content from presentation is nice to actually separate that physically as well. Oftentimes you may be generating HTML, you could generate HTML on the server, let's say, and so you would generate an HTML file possibly, and then you would want to have the style in a separate file that a designer, for instance, might have worked on. So let's go ahead and get rid of this style. Let's create a CSS file. So we'll create a style sheet. And we'll call this style.css, let's say. And I'll paste in my style. So when you have a separate style sheet, you just provide the style themselves, not the tags. And let's make this, instead of red, let's make this, I don't know, light red. Let's make it light pink. Okay. So I can save that. And what has happened here? Well, what happened is if I look at my HTML, I remove the style. So that makes sense, but it's not using the light pink. So I need to have some sort of a reference from the HTML to the style. Now I can type it in, or the other thing I can do in JetBrains is I can actually, if I just drag this CSS in, it will go ahead and put in the appropriate HTML. So it links, it says that it is a style sheet, and here's the file that is the style sheet. What do we mean when we say cascading style sheet, CSS? So that's what cascading. Cascading really stands for the fact that you can have multiple designations of a style, and they will get, the new ones will override the old ones basically. So for instance, you could have a style sheet here. Let's actually just save this, and now we get our pink. If we now had a style like this, where we also specified that the body had a background of red, it overrides the previous one. Okay. So there's a certain rule as to the priority of the styles. Let's get rid of this, and let's now go look more at the styles. So the basic format of this is we have a selector that says what the style is going to apply to, and then we have properties that say what is actually going to be set. We're going to be looking in more detail at both of those, and we're going to start by looking at the selectors. So how is it that you're actually choosing what style is being applied?